only deer species that both males and females get the antlers. The males, they use theirs to fight for all the girls during mating season, but the females use theirs to protect their young. So they keep them a little bit later in the year, that way they have that fresh scent when the babies are being born. Because those calves are up and walking within the first hour of life. Mom is right by their side the entire time. Now, although Yukon looks like he's a victim of a bad haircut, he's just shedding his winter coat for the summer season. But Yukon actually came to our center from a petting zoo in Missouri. See, this petting zoo thought it'd be a good idea to add 3 male reindeer to their collection. But they quickly realized that reindeer do not make a good petting zoo animal. These guys are big, strong animals, and the males especially can become dangerous during the mating season. So they asked if we could give Yukon and his 2 half brothers a home, and we were happy to do so. But the more we learned about reindeer, the more fascinated by them we became. In fact, reindeer were originally domesticated as a source of food, leather, and a mode of transportation. They would actually pull sleighs through the snow, but Santa was the only one that got them to fly. But let's say goodbye to Yukon, the amazing reindeer.
Wait.
Now this is Nova. What is she? Who? But this is Nova, and she's the great horned owl. These birds are specialized to be able to fly and hunt at night. A couple things to help them. Number 1, those eyes. Those big yellow eyes of hers are so good at seeing at night that if it were so dark out here that we couldn't see a single thing, she'd be able to see just about as well as we can right now without any issues whatsoever. But there's a problem with those eyes. Those eyes are so darn big that they're actually stuck right inside of her owl's skull, looking straight forward. So if you want to look to the left, she have to turn her whole head to the left. If you want to look to the right, she have to turn her whole head to the right. That's the first time that's ever worked. Now that's why she has that special neck of hers. It's not like the cartoons though. She can't turn her head around and around. If she did that, her head will pop right off. What she does have though is 14 cervical vertebrae, which allow her to turn her head 270 degrees almost the full way around once. Not only does she have that, but those wings of hers are coated in some special feathers called comb feathers. And those comb feathers break up the wind, granting her the gift of silent flight. This also helps her out because while she's out there hunting in the forest, she isn't just looking for her food, she's listening for her food. And if she was up there going flappity, 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 she wouldn't be able to hear all the mice and rats on the forest floor. Now that silent flight also helps her out because those mice and rats can't hear her coming and she'll swoop right on down and grab her prey. A bird this size eats about 2 to 3 rodents every single night. And they're out there making sure that we don't get overrun by the rodent world. Now Nova here was actually flying free about 12 years ago when she accidentally flew down right in front of a car. Now the person tried to stop but couldn't, and they hit this poor bird, shattering her left wing. Now they bravely scooped her up and took her to a rescue vet that saved her life. But that left wing of hers never healed up enough for her to be able to survive out in the wild. That's why she's here with us at our center, and we love being able to share it with you. But brace yourselves, because our next guest is a predator on a completely different scale. But that's Nova, the great horned owl.
Now this is Spike, and he is the North American alligator.
I was
now,
right.
The first question people always ask me is, JoJo, why doesn't he bite you? And you guys know what the answer to that question is? Well, Spike here, he only bites Dodger fans. I'm kidding. Now, 1 second. Hey, Spiky boy. Ready? Spike. Lie down.
His name's Spike. Then Spike, huh?
That is not a lie down. All right. Now, this guy here, he's actually been doing educational programs with us for the past 32 years. See, 32 years ago, he was found being kept in a man's bathtub in Los Angeles, and he was taken away, and he's been helping us do educational programs ever since. But alligators, they are perfectly set up for life in the southern swamps. Everything from their nose being positioned on top of their snout to work like a snorkel, allowing them to breathe. To these amazing spikes that run down their entire body and act like armor and protect them from other alligators. Then he's got that big, long, muscular tail. That tail of his is the most well-muscled part of his body. He can pump that tail along and swim faster than a bottlenose dolphin can. Take that, Dolphin Stadium. He even has 2,000 pounds per square inch of crushing power in that mouth. Whenever he grabs a hold of something, you can bet it's always his. Now, alligators, there's a couple ways to tell them apart from crocodiles. Number 1 is in the shape of the snout. Alligators have that very short, rounded snout, while crocodiles tend to have a longer, narrow snout. That's the first way to tell. The second way to tell is to look at the teeth. The largest tooth on an alligator points down, while the largest tooth on a crocodile points up. But if you're close enough to tell, you might be a little bit too close. But I'll tell you what, alligators, these guys are actually an animal that gives me hope. These guys give me hope because we almost lost these big, beautiful creatures. We almost lost the North American alligator because of their side skin. See, so many alligators were over-hunted for that skin of theirs to make boots and belts and wallets and purses out of them. Now, we almost lost the largest reptile that we had here in the United States. But you guys know what happened? People got involved. They started protecting the alligators, they protected the alligators' habitats, and now these guys have made such a strong comeback that there are over 2 million alligators in Florida alone. They are thriving once again in our southern swamps. But let's say goodbye to Spike, the North American alligator. No, you say, see you later? You know what? I did that joke in school once. And this little kindergartner came up to me at the end of the program, and he said, see you later, alligator, to Spike here. So I said, in a while, crocodile. And this little kindergartner looked me dead in the eye and said, see you soon, you big baboon. Coming right in the heart. And I'll tell you what, our next guest is an absolutely amazing creature that happens to be found right here in California. But let's give Spike a round of applause one last time.
Okay, boom.
And this is Pocket, the Virginia opossum. These were originally an East Coast animal, but they became widespread around the United States at the time that the railroads were being built. Believe it or not, they were brought state to state to be used as a food source. Now, Pocket has a home with us here because a few years ago, there was a lady driving her car down the road late at night, and she saw a ball of fur dash across the road. Now, she tried to stop. She did. But unfortunately, she hit that ball of fur. So she got out of her car and she realized that she had hit an opossum. But this lady was smart, thankfully. This lady read somewhere that opossums, they're marsupials. And marsupials are animals that have pouches on their bellies to carry their what in? Their what in? Their lunches. No, of course, you guys are right, to carry their babies. So she bravely reached into that pouch and realized there were still 5 little baby opossums inside. So she scooped them all up, took them to a rehab center where they would have the best chance to make it back out there in the wild. And everything was going great for a while, except for with little Pocket here, who they discovered shortly after was almost completely blind. Now that's why Pocket could not be released with his siblings and has a home here with us. Now Pocket is 3 years old. Now that may seem pretty young, but the lifespan of an opossum is only about 3 to 4 years. But get this, in those 3 to 4 years, a mama opossum can give birth to over 50 babies. 50 babies. If I had 50 children, I'd only want to live about 3 years myself. Pocket is one amazing animal, has the distinction of being North America's only marsupial. He sure is one awesome possum. So let's say goodbye to Pocket. And our next animal coming out may be one of the most iconic in all of North America. Check her out.
This is Spirit, and she is the bald eagle. Now you guys can definitely see why we have Spirit at our center. See, she was on one of her very first flights up to Alaska when she tried to steal a fish from a fisherman. This person didn't take too kindly to that, and actually shot this big, beautiful bird in her left wing. And somehow, this young bird managed to swim her way back to shore, where she was taken in by a special wildlife vet that saved her life. But unfortunately, they couldn't save that left wing of hers, and they had to amputate it below her elbow. So her missing that left wing completely takes away her ability to fly, and also gives her some balance issues as well. The bald eagles, they're one of the most recognizable and inspiring animals on the planet, but we almost lost these birds. We almost lost the bald eagles due to a chemical called DDT. See, DDT is a American pesticide. People used to spray it on their children, and nobody was being hurt directly. That chemical would
Those
wash
the
over
best.
the riverways.
Well,
It would be
this is the
absorbed by the
strongest bird
fish.
in the whole
The
world.
eagles would then
Yeah,
eat those
the
fish.
best animal in the
and
whole
eagles
world.
themselves would
USA
survive.
bird.
But they
Yes.
ended up with a calcium
Right.
deficiency.
USA
Their
bird.
calcium deficiency resulted in the bald eagles laying extremely soft eggs. So when they would nest, the eggs would break, and no new generations of eagles were being born. Here's the thing, DDT was banned in the 70s. It was done, but the problem was still occurring, and our national symbol was in danger of going
Bald
extinct.
eagle.
It actually took the help
Mẹ
of
con này có
passionate
cắn không?
people. They'll go out and watch the bald eagles' nests, waiting for moms to lay their eggs. Right when those eggs were laid, they would chase mom away, which is not as easy as it sounds. They would take the soft eggs back to incubate them and leave fake eggs in the nest. Now, right when those babies would hatch, they'd rush them back to that very same nest, and this was working surprisingly well. But the best part was, those babies didn't have the chemical in their system anymore.
Hey, how
They were
about
able to
dolphins?
reproduce on their own. And this worked so well that in
Yo, look at
2007,
the
the bald eagles were even taken off the
That's pretty
endangered
cool.
species list, and our national symbol is thriving
I
once
love
again in
that.
our waterways. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now,
Maybe we
bald
don't
eagles,
have
though,
bird.
these guys are incredible animals. She has eyesight that's 6 times better than yours or mine. She has close to 1,000 pounds per square inch of crushing power in those talons of hers. And these birds are even known, if they catch a fish that's too heavy for them to fly with, they'll swim it back to shore. They're amazing fishers and scavengers, and I'm absolutely honored to be able to share her with you guys. Anyways, I think she's absolutely beautiful. That is Spirit. Let's say goodbye to the bald eagle here.
Bye, bye, eagle.
Now this is
Turtle.
Flip. He's the California
Turtle.
desert tortoise. And unlike the bald eagle that you guys just saw that was saved from the brink of extinction through human efforts, these awesome little guys actually had their wild populations decimated due to people grabbing them out of the wild to make as pets. Now, they would just see them waddle along the roadways and they'd scoop them right up. Now, it got even worse when those same people got tired of taking care of these little guys and they released them back out to the wild. Now, the problem with that was that these guys that were kept as pets, they had respiratory issues that they spread to the rest of the wild populations. Now, in order to continue this from stopping, Fish and Wildlife actually created permits that allow these fellows to be kept as pets inside doors to prevent the spread of disease. Now, Flip here was actually one of those permitted tortoises, but his previous owner actually passed away. He outlived him. This fella is now 70 years old, and he's one of our favorite fellas to bring out here to audiences. He also just happens to be the state reptile of California. But let's say goodbye to Flip, the California desert tortoise.
Now, did you guys enjoy those animals?
That's it.